Guns in the wrong hands. Across North Carolina, we're seeing an increase in the number of children committing crimes with firearms, and those kids are getting younger and younger.
Now, Fox 8's Caroline Boyer joins us live here in the studio after talking with the state's deputy secretary over juvenile justice.
Katie, he tells me about 20% of all juvenile crimes in North Carolina involve guns. In 2018, it was only 4%. In most cases, children are getting firearms from their parents, but he says there's a growing problem that's allowing kids access.
We've seen a huge increase in the number of motor vehicle breaking and enterings for the sole purpose of just stealing a firearm.
New data from the state breaks down the number of larcenies of a firearm in the past 2 years from children ages 9 to 17. From 2020 to 2021, the state recorded 379 of these offenses, the most by 16-year-olds. From 2021 to now, there have been 362 larcenies of guns by children, with the highest number in the 17-year-old age group.
The number of motor vehicle break-ins that has increased from about 5% of them involving stealing a weapon to now about 22%.
Why do children want access to guns? Money.
Firearms that sell on the street can sell for $500, $600, sometimes $1,000. And so it's easy money, quick money for kids to make.
William Lassiter is the Deputy Secretary of Juvenile Justice for North Carolina, and he's seen kids in our state as young as 8 years old in possession of a gun. He specifically mentioned 10-year-old Leilani Jeffries from Reidsville, who died after police say she was shot by her 14-year-old cousin 2 weeks ago. That's just one of multiple incidents in the Piedmont Triad. I reached out to local law enforcement agencies to gather data on teenagers in possession of guns. In the past 2 years, Greensboro police recovered 10 on children ages 13 to 17. High Point police found 13 guns on children in that same age group. And Reidsville police recovered 10 on people ages 16 to 20 years old. The state is kicking off multiple campaigns to put an end to the violence. One of those is set to roll out in November, the Safe Storage Program.
So that we can make sure as an adult that we take the responsible measures of not letting these firearms get in the hands of young people.
There's also an Educating Kids About Guns initiative in the works, where experts will partner with schools and go into classrooms to talk with students.
We want to make sure that young people especially truly understand the real and permanent consequences of those firearms.
These trends are not unique to North Carolina. We're seeing them across the country. Lassiter says a lot of this has to do with the number of gun permits issued during the pandemic. In North Carolina, that number shot up by 300%, meaning there are plenty of new gun owners who might not know how to properly secure their firearms. Neil?